The G20 Digital Economy Working Group Task Force on AI is underway in Gqeberha. The meeting brings together experts and policymakers from around the world and aims to set the agenda for harnessing the digital potential of economies. For more on this, SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi has the details. So let's find out from her. I'm sure interesting things being said there. I mean, AI is always an interesting conversation. It certainly is, and especially at a level of a G20 discussion. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it today. Talk to us about yesterday and perhaps what we can expect today.
A very good morning to you, Leanne. It's day 2, like you said, of the G20 working group meeting. Yesterday, the conversation, like you said, was around AI, but also interestingly, and the conversation was around ensuring connectivity. Interesting stats coming out that 2.9 billion people around the world, Leanne, currently don't have internet connection, therefore making it quite impossible to grow what is called now the digital economy and even to tap into the AI. This morning, the conversation is around digital public infrastructure and transformation, and the conversation will center around that. I'm joined by this morning by Ali Mashishi, who's the DDG for International Relations. Tell us more exactly what digital public transformation is and infrastructure is, and also a man who's very much clued up in terms of AI. Mr. Mashishi, when you speak about digital public infrastructure, just in layman's term for the viewers watching, what are we exactly speaking about? What should be the conversation today?
Thank you very much, Lerato. Today we're going to have a very interesting conversation because the digital public infrastructure is a big topic. Basically what it means is that there's various platforms, digital platforms, that can be used by government in relation to issues such as your identity, issues around education, issues around voting. But those platforms, in their nature, they require that you need to have a data sets. And these data sets, it's an information that needs to be packaged in a way that it always gives us the ability, right? So the discussions we're going to have here is that for these platforms to be able to work for our services that we need to have a conversation with countries that big platforms are existing in, so that we can be able to set up governance systems, we can be able to set up standards and interoperability. For example, if you want to go and purchase something in Temu or something, you need to be able to use your banking card and your identity in the same way as anyone in any other country. So these are the platforms that we're going to agree that these are for public purposes, and all of them need to be interoperated so that they can be able to then have the world into a one global currency.
Ms. Mashishi, an interesting conversation that we had yesterday was the issue of connectivity, saying 2.9 billion people are still without internet. A bit of a challenge, but also the importance of coming together of such countries to try and address such challenges as well.
Right. I think the stats has improved a bit. It used to be 2.9 and now 2.7 billion. But that is not really good news. Basically what it means is that we've realized that for us to be able to move forward is that we need to make sure that everybody is in the space of the digital coverage, right? Because digital coverage is the fact that the infrastructure needs to be available at the time for use. So the challenge is that when sometimes these countries that are here, which are the big boys, the big countries, we think that they don't have the same challenges we have. We actually have the same challenges. It's just the magnitude of the challenges differ in terms of size. So we sit here and we say, what is it that requires to close that gap? Is it about financing? Or is it about just us making sure that we ensure devices that are needed to be there have to be there? So the issue is that we now want to close this in. By 2030, we want everybody to be connected. That's the main thing.
Thank you so much. Well, the aim, Leanne, is to ensure by 2030 that 2.7 billion becomes nothing and more people are connected. An interesting conversation today will be digital public infrastructure, ensuring that our infrastructure is in place to ensure that more people are connected, and also speaking about the beauty of AI and its possibilities in connectivity and taking the countries forward. But for now, let's go back to you in studio.
Thanks very, very much, Lerato. It's, for me, the most fascinating conversation. I could sit listening to it all day about AI and where we're going in this world. It really is. All right, Lerato Fekisi bringing us the latest from that gathering.